A bit over a year ago, I passed the AWS Cloud Practitioner and the AWS Solutions Architect Associate certifications. And when I did so, I published my notes and flashcards. Now, over a year later, I have refreshed my Cloud Practitioner materials, updating a lot of references images, for example here, and adding, editing, or deleting AWS services, features, and limits. In my Solutions Architect Associate notes, I'm importing the first two sections, AWS Accounts and AWS Fundamentals, directly from my Cloud Practitioner notes, so these two have also been refreshed. A lot of things can change in the span of 1 year in AWS or cloud technologies, and I would like to delve a bit deeper on this topic in this YouTube video. But if you're just here to get the links to my updated Cloud Practitioner and Solutions Architect notes and flashcards, just follow the links that are provided in the video. And if you purchased any of my materials before the updates, remember that you can just go to Coffee and re-download the things that you have purchased free of charge. You get updates for free. Now, cloud technologies evolve and change quite fast. Not quite as fast as modern AI technologies, but still fast enough to make training materials age like milk. For example, while updating my materials for the Cloud Practitioner cert, the following features and facts have changed for Amazon S3 in the past year. So first of all, the maximum object size for objects in S3 is no longer 5 terabytes, but 50 terabytes, which is really handy for all those huge video files that we like uploading to S3. Now, the maximum object size has been 5 terabytes for a very long time, so, this is news. Another new thing is account regional namespaces. So even though S3 buckets live in regions, it was a well-known quirk by everyone that when creating an S3 bucket, you needed to give it a globally unique name. So you couldn't share this bucket name with anyone else in the world. But that is no longer the case. So with account regional namespaces, you can give any name that you want to your bucket as long as it's unique within your account and your region. And the way that AWS keeps this separate from all other buckets in the world is they append a suffix that is unique to your account and your region. So again, this is a pain that is solved right now, and it is no longer a fact that you need to give a new S3 bucket a globally unique name. We also have a new storage class called S3 One Zone Express. As mentioned before, S3 buckets live within a region, but there was one storage class called the One Zone Infrequent Access class where that was not the case, where the buckets lived in just one availability zone. And the trade-off there was that you got it for cheap, but it was not replicated as much. Well, now there's an additional storage class that uses these directory buckets, so buckets that only live within one availability zone and not within a whole region. And this provides very high performance, which is really, really useful for intensive data apps, for machine learning training, and for all that AI good stuff that is happening these days. So S3 One Zone Express, it is not regionally resilient, it's only AZ resilient, but it is very useful for high-performing operations within S3. So again, these three facts happened within the past year, and many people learned the old facts for years, and now there's a need to relearn those facts. And yes, even video courses by popular instructors might not have been updated yet. If I had to plot the usefulness of cloud training materials versus time, it would look something like this graph over here. So in essence, training materials might hold good value for the first 1 to 2 years, but they start to decline sharply after the 3-year mark. And if they are more than 3 years old, they are kind of useless at that point. The lesson to learn is to make an effort to learn with updated materials, or get into the habit of fact-checking old materials. For example, Andrew Brown here in Free Code Camp has plenty of AWS certification courses on YouTube, and he puts them out for free. So normally he's the one that I would recommend if you're looking for free resources. But notice that the Cloud Practitioner course that has the most views, 2.8 million views, is already 2 years old. Fortunately, he has published a new refreshed course just 2 months ago. So obviously you should be studying with the updated course, not with the old course. And I know that Andrew Brown does an effort to update his materials, but YouTube at least always tells you when was the date that the course or a video has been published, and that is really helpful for you to know how up to date those facts and figures and other things can be. Now, huge shout out to Stefan Marek. He is the most popular instructor in Udemy, and I think that's well deserved when you also consider that, in my opinion, he's the one who keeps his courses most up to date. I mean, here it says last updated July of this year. And I know that that is a fact. Like, he updates his slides, he updates his videos all the time to keep current with the latest AWS changes. In fact, one way you can quickly check what has changed in a certain AWS certification since the last time that you took it or that you studied for it is to re-download the course slides from Stefan Marek after a while. His slides, as you can see, have version numbers and they accompany the date that they were last modified. What you can then do is upload both the old slides and the new slides to compare PDF in the ilovepdf.com website. I really like this website. So you upload them here and then you can choose semantic comparison. And that will tell you what things have been added, what things have been taken away between both versions. I currently offer study notes and flashcards for 5 different AWS certifications. While it's true that I created them when I studied for each of the different certifications, I don't want to be yet another guy who just shares and then never updates. I hope to dedicate some time, hopefully yearly, to keep my materials as updated as possible. But this will of course be a best effort considering that this is a side hustle of mine and not my full-time job. I'm also more self-conscious now that if I'm going to add more materials for other certifications in the future, that does mean more update work down the line in the future. So I need to be careful and see what is sustainable for me. I'm always going to be transparent on what version number my materials are. If you scroll down over here, you can see that there's a current version and when was it last updated. And if you scroll even further down, there is a version log similar to software updates in different software programs where I detail what things have changed since the last time that I updated. So for example, I added the S3 Zone Express storage class. I updated the numbers and limits of different AWS services and deleted some of these services that are no longer relevant, right? If you ever purchase any of my paid materials in my coffee shop and I update them, you are entitled to get those updates for free for the rest of your life. So just log in to Coffee with your account, the same account that you purchased your items with, and download again those materials and you'll have them updated. That's it for this video. If anything of what I said was useful to you, go ahead and like and subscribe to show some support to my channel and telling the YouTube algorithm that you'd like some more of this. As I said before, I have materials for 5 AWS certifications, so if you're looking for study notes or flashcards for any of them, you can find a playlist of every single certification over here with links to those materials. Until then, happy studying and go and ace those certifications.